What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, so thank you Plarium for allowing us access. And in this video, we are going to be giving you guys the stage 30 event dungeon team that I've been working on for the past 2 days, 3 days or so, which is based around the elixir relic that Bronko first talked about in the event dungeon a couple days ago. So the elixir relic, what I'm talking about here, is very, very useful in trying to craft a team around it, so that we can actually deal with this dungeon. The big thing about stage 30 is that the incoming damage is so high relative to stage 29 that it's basically a completely different encounter. So this relic here, this golden elixir wearer, is instantly healed by 10% when their HP drops below 50%. Now this is very, very massive. Obviously, this build, everything around this does not work without this particular relic. So if you don't have this relic, it's not going to work. You can kind of just not bother with this video or this team. But if you have this relic, then there is a lot of different comps that you could probably try. And I've probably tried it on the test server here, but I found the team that works, and I'll show you guys some of the details here that made it work for me. So I'll show you guys the proof here. It did go 10 for 10. It's a small sample size, but I'm very, very happy with this because previously all teams, all variations of this type of team did not work for me to this win rate. Now I feel relatively comfortable that this team will be very, very successful, 100% so far. But I did found one situation where this team will run into some issues. But first, let's show you guys the team here and how it runs. It's super smooth when it runs well. All right, guys, here's the team. Let's show it in action here. I'll try to talk through the best I can and how this team works. So first off, we got Geomancer going first. He always goes first. This improves the consistency of this team. He always lands the HP burn on the boss. If you have Geomancer going anywhere outside of first, he might land the HP burn on another enemy. I believe he prioritizes non-weakened champions. So if, for example, Lydia weakens everybody, but one champion resists, then Geomancer will HP burn that champion. But in this case, this is a very smooth run. What you ideally want to happen is Geomancer placing the HP burn. The HP burn gets extended right away, and then the boss starts targeting Aox right away. Now, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in this team, in this run. There's a lot of things going on, actually. So I want to go over every little detail here so you guys know exactly how to improve your consistency and to figure out exactly what is going wrong with your team. Now, yeah, obviously the gear here is really awful, but we have roughly 34 seconds here as my best. But when it goes perfectly right, it's about 35 seconds. When it goes wrong, it could be a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. If there's a chance for a fail, it's not going to be particularly easy for this to fail, depending on how strong your seer is. So first things first is you need to get the seer through the wave. Once the seer gets through the wave, you need basically everybody to die except for the 3 champions you want at the end, which is Geomancer, Aox, and Vogoth. And these 3 will basically take care of the boss without any issue. But there are things that can go wrong. Multiple crits happening at the same time, targeting the wrong champion, fears going off, debuffs falling off. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. But these champions connected together, they actually improve the consistency quite a bit. So for example, Vogoth here has an A1 that can extend debuffs. It's a small chance, but there's a chance of it happening. And then we have Geomancer here, which obviously is super strong with his HP burn and can steal the buffs, which gives a bit of time back, of course. So here, we got Geomancer trying to solo the boss here. Obviously, the HP burn has fallen off. This is not an ideal run, that's for sure. But let's see how this plays out. It should not fail, given that the boss has such low HP already. But if it's really bad RNG, you could basically get feared all the time and all that stuff, so it can fall off occasionally. But here we do land the HP burn, and it should be a smooth sailing from now on. We did get some bad luck here, and we lost both our support champions, but we did get the job done here with Geomancer. Again, let's try it again. So Geomancer always goes first, places the HP burn on the boss. That's 100% consistent as long as he goes first. Decrease defense and weaken place down. Now, if you have like a big shield, you can mitigate some of the damage from the Mortu. You notice that we lost some HP on like Geo, Aox. So they're not rocking with full HP. So if the boss crits you super, super hard, it's definitely possible that, you might get under 50% and then the elixir can't recover you quick enough. So here Aox did the heal, which is really good at, adding some consistency to the run as well. Because once you get the heal off, we're back up to near full HP, and that gives us enough time, right? So all of this has to happen basically in order for this to be a really smooth run. So we need the HP burn to land, first of all. That can't be resisted, 3% chance. But that doesn't mean the run fails. If Geomancer gets the run, if Geomancer gets the HP burn resisted, doesn't necessarily mean it's a fail. If the decreased defense and weaken get resisted at some point among the mobs or anything like that, that doesn't necessarily mean the run will fail. Now, Mortu and Hefrak, only weaken can kill them, so they don't necessarily need both of them applied. Now, the tough ones is Volcanos and Wither. If Volcanos survives, this team can still win. That's the thing. This team can still win if Volcanos is alive. Notice how big that crit was there. Aox did beat the RNG with the heal there. So, but if Aox got feared and we didn't get the heal, maybe we get close to losing. Maybe we get close to losing here. But as it stands, it's our best run ever. 33 seconds. So you notice how, the boss hit super hard, took more damage from the HP burn passive. But it did chunk us off pretty low, right? Did chunk us off pretty low. So as I was saying, if Volcanos stays alive, it's not the end of the run. But the one thing that will surely destroy this run is if Wither stays alive. If Wither survives the Seer attack and is not killed, this run will basically go into an infinite loop, or the boss will kill us eventually. But I've had it happen where the boss takes us for an infinite loop, because we can't kill the boss because the boss will cleanse the HP burn off, and Wither also cleanses as well, and Wither provides continuous heals. So we can't even like slowly kill him with like War Master or something like that. So if Wither stays alive, then this run will just go into infinite loop. Now that's super annoying, of course, and there's no real way around it at this point for me. But otherwise, this team has worked super, super well, super consistent. We worked out a lot of the small little issues with the run that makes it very inconsistent because there's so many things going on in the run. So you see Mortu there, sometimes Mortu, if you want to place more buffs, you have to go make sure all your buffs are landed before Mortu can go. But Mortu doesn't always go because it's a chance to proc turn meter. So there's all these little things that you have to look out for here. Also, you have to HP tune your champion so that the boss targets, most likely will target the champion that you want it to target, which is Aox. Vogoth, very good. You can turn off all his A2, just make him use his A1. His A1 has a increased duration on debuff ability, which is really strong. The masteries on Vogoth are helpful. We do run Bulwark on him, so he absorbs a little bit of damage, for example. But hey, I'm showing you guys run after run of successes here. I've tested this, like I said, many, many times. Aox, brilliant inclusion from Bronko. So passively, he works really well, but there is some RNG involved because he can only extend 2 debuffs, and you have more than 2 debuffs on the boss. So it doesn't always necessarily work out if bad RNG happens. So now you see we're all feared. If Aox gets feared and he doesn't place the heal, then we're kind of low on HP. We need to recover here. But if he lands the heal, happy days, right? So there we go. We failed the fear. Vogoth's getting low. Let's see if we can recover here. We might be able to recover with just Aox and Geomancer. But luckily, we got the HP burn back right away. Because if we didn't get the HP burn back right away, the boss might get enough turns to, basically chunk off our HP and kill us. I've seen it happen on many variations of this type of team. There's a lot of bad RNG that can happen. And the stronger your relic is, the more heal you get. Like, let's be real here, right? So if you're at, level 15 relic, this healing, this extra 4% healing is going to be massive. And we're just being real here, right? So here, like, we need the HP burn to land, otherwise we're not going to be able to kill the boss. So the RNG from the Aox passive didn't work out for us here, right? So we were extending things like the weaken, the leech, maybe the accuracy stuff. And then we fail. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, the other big thing in a team like this on stage 30 is that every point of mitigation really helps. So if you have high star blessings on your epic champions, that's going to go a long way, because the boss will basically hit you for what I think 5% less. So if we go down to the tips here, so yeah, so every increased damage, decreased damage. So from 3 to 6 stacks up to 25%. So 5% for every level, right? So obviously if you're running 6-star blessed epic champions, they're going to be receiving less damage. That's going to improve the consistency, improve the healing and all that. It's very important, right? Like all these little things, especially when we're working with all this RNG, just to make it consistent. Like even if this team was, 90-ish%, I would say it's the most accessible setup for most people. The gearing is, obviously very intensive. You need a very strong seer. 6-star seer would be the best, because for me, I don't have a 6-star seer, and I think that's holding me back a lot. So I did have to use a cat's gaze on my seer just to make up for the lack of ignore defense. But yeah, the 6-star seer really, really helps just, kill the wave without having to add so many buffs. Vogoth really helps here because of the extra healing, just gives us some time. The A1 extension of the debuffs, very helpful, just to, again, mitigate some of that RNG. Aox, Aox does, give some RNG, right? But he gets hit a lot here. He gets hit a lot in this fight. Like, ideally, Vogoth dies. Like, Vogoth gets hit, ideally, heals up our 2 guys, he dies off, and then it's just Aox and Geomancer, and then the boss just targets Aox. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. All right? I do kind of have it HP tuned in this way. Vogoth is the lowest HP. Aox is the lowest HP, so he takes the initial hits, but Vogoth is very close in HP, but then he also takes additional ally protection damage, right? The allied damage. So he'd probably lose HP faster. But yeah, there's a lot of little nuances here. You can kind of see it works pretty well when it works well. But occasionally you'll probably meet a fail. Again, this is level 30, so it's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty tough. And I think most people will be happy to do, 29 instead of 30, obviously, because it's a totally different situation. It's a totally different boss fight at level 30. So anyways, guys, I'll show you guys the gear set. Maybe we'll do one more run here. We did show 1 loss. So the run is very good win rate, but it's not going to be... It's not going to be 100% win rate. And of course, we might lose against the Wither. If the Wither survives the Seer, it would just be an infinite run. So that's going to be something that's going to happen occasionally as well. Super annoying, of course. Here we go. As long as we're over 50% HP, we're good. If we're over 50% HP, we're good. If we're under, that's when people start dying off. So here we go. We got the heal. See how smooth the run goes when Aox does the heal right away. Look at that blast. Look at that hit. Look at that hit. Just a massive hit there. All right, let's show you guys the team here real quick. There we go. Got the boss. 46 seconds. Show you guys the team. All right, so Seer is in a 9-piece feral set. Additional damage to the waves. Softens them up. Allows them to go down a little bit easier. She is in the 6-star Brimstone, which really helps just to speed up the run a little bit. Talon here for some damage. This gemstone is pretty good. Just additional damage. Yeah, Yeah, fully booked. Masteries, we went down War Master again, additional damage. Otherwise, not super important. Like you could kind of have her in whatever gear. I just figured the Feral is helpful. The Feral also provides a block debuff buff to be stripped for Seer, which is helpful. So yeah, you could do that. You could run Lydia with like shield set Feral. That's kind of useful too. It gives you more buffs and all that. And then we have our Seer here. She is again pretty stacked out. 395 crit damage in a using a cat's gaze. I do have 2 of these gemstones in to ignore more of the target's defense if they're under 2 or more debuffs. They will be under 2 or more debuffs when Seer takes a turn, so she's going to be ignoring more defense. I did take the wearer deals 10% more damage in dungeon battles just to help her out. Again, this is the makeup for the 6-star. If you have a 6-star, you don't need this crazy amount of stats. You're going to be doing just fine. And yeah, I have her going last, 266 speed. Let's see, Crushing Rend for the first hit. And I took Flawless Execution for no RNG on Helm Smasher and all that. Everything else not really important. We don't really need, Blood Shield Accessory or that. Rule set for additional ignore defense. So the 3 most important champions in this group, obviously the most important is Geomancer. He has to go first. So depending on what your gear is like, he has to go first. I got him at 280 speed only. Obviously, if he is faster, that's better. He can recover faster. But based on the amount of stats I needed to survive, the amount of accuracy I needed, 280 was the most reasonable speed I can put him at while maintaining the other stats. Regen Immortal, very important. I mean, the Immortal heal, even 3%, it's very important. Every percentage, I think, counts here. We're running at level 12 Elixir here. So like I said, at 15, you're going to get plus 4% heal. That's pretty massive, to be honest. Turn meter fill, and then boss deals less damage. I mean, these, I think, are probably the best. I'm not sure if the skeletons count as the boss. So I'm not sure if that helps there. But there's not too many gemstones in the circle that really help. You could take more turn meter stuff. That could be helpful. Emergency heal, very important. It gives you an extra 10% heal. And the shield will come from Blood Shield Accessory. He doesn't attack all the time because he has 2 out of 3 skills that attack, but 1 skill that doesn't. But getting the shield is very important. You get a big heal off of that. You could, if you can, maybe squeeze in like a counterattack accessory, because if you counterattack, you get the shield, right? So that's just more consistent. Because occasionally he will get feared, and then you won't get the shield, and then you won't get the heal, and that's a big thing, right? That's going to be a loss sometimes, right? So there's obviously more RNG there, but if you have a blood shield, if you have a revenge accessory, then you can counterattack, and then you have a 5% chance to counterattack, and then you get the shield, you get the heal, and then it could be all good. Here's the masteries on him. Yeah, I'm not sure if blast proof is better than improved parry. I mean, you could go down resistance, improve parry, and then that's going to help you, mitigate some damage from the big hits. But you don't always crit. He doesn't always crit. And, having the flat 5% may be better. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure because maybe the non-crits are manageable, but the big crits are not manageable, and then the extra 3% might be that important. That's my thinking. I don't see a noticeable difference. Everything else looks pretty standard. I mean, you could take HP here if you were totally cool with the accuracy stuff. It's just for a little bit of extra HP. Spirit Haste is very important. Accuracy. If you have enough accuracy, then you go down to Elixir of Life for some more HP. And yeah, that's Geomancer here. He's HP 2 and he has the highest HP on the whole team, so that he gets targeted last because you don't want him to die. We got Vogoth here in a Feral, so he comes with the block debuffs again for Seer, and he comes with the shield set again for Seer. I have him speed tuned so that he goes after all the debuffs are landed, so that he can go in with his A1 and attempt to extend some of the duration of the debuffs. That would be ideal. Also gives him, the blood shield shield as well. And his passive will keep him healed up, right? Like his passive will keep him healed up when he gets hit, so he doesn't really need like a regeneration set or anything like that. And then the healing for the team is great. Here's the masteries for him. The masteries actually made a pretty good difference here. The selfless defender is really nice. And then bulwark here to take away some damage from your team is very nice. The other masteries don't really matter. You just have Vogoth using the A1. Of course, the elixir here, same gemstones here work. And yeah, total stats. I put him, give him some accuracy so that he can make his A1 extended duration. And yeah, just HP tune him, of course. And then lastly, we have Aox here. So Aox, similar build as Geomancer, requires accuracy. You really want to shoot for 500 accuracy in this dungeon. It's just, yeah, pain in the butt to have all this stuff happen. Yeah, Aox should be slower than Geomancer, who goes after Geomancer. Similar build, just make sure he has less HP so that he gets targeted first. He takes more damage, or has lower HP, so the boss target him first. Same elixir here. Emergency heal, you need 1 blood shield accessory. And then here are the masteries for Aox. I'm going to take the heal, boosted heal here, boosted heal, boosted healing. Spirit Haze, important. Eagle Eye. And then same defensive masteries here as well. Since his passive is not 100% chance to land on the HP burn, there's levels of RNG. The HP burn can fall off. The run can be extended, giving the boss more time to deal more damage against our team, which can force a fail, right? So there's just multiple layers of RNG. This team, I think, does the best with its current setup to kind of alleviate some of those RNG pain points the best I could. And I think I covered most of it in this video here. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for it. Let me know in the comments below. I think it's probably going to be the last video I make on this particular team, like the Seer and the Elixir team. I think this works. I've tried a Uros as well, but the blessings I don't have. And I think the blessings are very important just to mitigate damage. He can do it without a proper healing set. He just needs tons of HP, but without the big blessing, I think it really helps with the damage, the incoming damage mitigation. So for me, I can't really make it Uros. Otherwise, Uros would be a very good viable champion for this as well. And it might be easier just to build like a super strong single Uros instead of like 3 champions in really good specific gear and all that stuff, and having like 3 elixirs, for example. But you need the blessing for him. That makes a big difference. Or you can, or you need like, really good defiant set pieces, which I don't have. So, that's a pay to win set, right? We don't have that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys even bothering trying this type of team? I think if this can help you guys, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what level dungeon you guys are tackling. Actually, that would be interesting to know. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.